Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me today. We have Christine with Coterie. I'm going to be turning it over to her so she can present for us. At the very end, I'll also walk through where Coterie is located in the agent portal, answer all the questions that you guys have, etc. But I'm going to turn it over to Christine.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Kylie. Hi, everyone. My name is Christine. I am a senior enterprise account manager with Coterie. So I work with all of our wonderful wholesalers, networks, and aggregators. So I'm excited to talk to you all today about Coterie. If you have heard of us, if you haven't heard of us, just excited to talk about who we are, what we do, and what we do best. So the presentation is on the short side, but I'll try to keep it interesting with some appetite tidbits and other fun things and facts about Coterie. So who are we? We are small business. We're Coterie Insurance, small business insurance made easy. So as you can see on the screen, why should you partner with us? There's a lot of great reasons that you can read to the left of your screen. Uh, Big one, instantly quoting and issuing policies. When we say instantly quote and issue, we really do mean pretty much almost instantly. With Coterie, you don't have to fill out ACORD forms. You don't have to provide us with supplemental applications. Getting a business insurance quote with us is really as easy as knowing the business name and address of the risk that you're trying to insure. From there, you'll fill out a couple of questions or data points. What's the revenue? What are the sales? And then it takes you about a minute or two just to get to a fully bindable quote if that's an appetite. The other great thing about Coterie is that we don't ever make you wait for a yes or a no. It's all instant. So you either get an instant yes, meaning you get a bindable quote with us, or it's going to be an instant no where we say, unfortunately, this is outside of our appetite or outside of the risk characteristics that we want to write. So you can take it to another market if needed. We don't have underwriting review. There's no yellow light here. So it's either you get a green light or a red light, and then you can go about your day and get to your next piece of business. Again, you can do that all through the dashboard, so you can quickly quote and bind. Um, we do also have a unique link that we'll provide to you that you can put on your website and your email signature. That'll allow your potential clients to quote 24/7. We'll give you immediate access to policy documents and insurance certificates. You can also issue your own COIs online with us. So we've made that easy for you too. We have our three lines of business, which are BOP, GL, and PL. We do real-time digital underwriting. You can view all of the policy information in one place, which is in your dashboard. We do have some self-service tools that we provide to policyholders as well. They can report claims and they can also manage payments. We have professional claims handling. We have auto issuance on our renewals. So again, giving you more time back in your day. You don't have to go through a whole renewal quoting process. Um, we make that as automatic and seamless as possible. And then we provide you with end-to-end customer service support. So lots of great reasons to work with us to make it fast and easy to quote, bind, issue, and service these small to micro commercial insurance policies. So while Coterie is an MGA, we operate a lot more like a carrier. So every policy that you issue with us is going to be a Coterie policy. However, we use three papers to issue those policies. So there's Spinnaker, Benchmark, and Everspan. We are a fully admitted product. We are not excess and surplus, and you'll see a little bit more about that in our appetite. So just something to keep in mind. A lot of people, when they think insurtech or digital, they lean more toward the E&S side. We are not that. We are an admitted product. Okay, so the current lines of business that we write, so we will write a business owner policy or a standalone general liability. Uh, those two products are available in all 50 states. We currently offer professional liability in 41 of the 50 states. You'll see here a little list of so sorry, I'm back. little security issue doesn't like GoToWebinar. But as I was saying, don't feel any pressure to memorize this list of states where we don't offer professional liability, because the system will tell you as you're going through and selecting the lines of business that you'd like to quote, whether PL is available in that state or not. So again, no pressure to memorize. The system will is intuitive enough to let you know if that's available. So let's give some general guidelines about Coterie and our products, and where we've established a little bit more of a niche for ourselves. So because our policies are meant to be simple for us, that means one location, one named insured, and one classification on the policy. So if you've got somebody who does 70% plumbing, 30% HVAC, we can cover that on a single policy under a plumbing class code. That being said, if you've got somebody who's a plumber who also has a pizza shop, we can write that, but we can't put that on the same policy. We'd have to use two separate policies for those two separate operations. So that's a really kind of out there example. I don't know too many people who have the same business entity that's doing plumbing and a pizza shop. But just to give you an idea of, you know, those two divergent operations, we don't like to write it, but it's a possibility. So for revenue, we'll do up to $10 million for all classes with the exception of contractors. Contractors will do up to $5 million. For our claims, we have some general guidelines surrounding that. So we'd like to see no more than 2 claims in a 5-year period, and then no single loss exceeding $15,000. And while we will write up to maximum of 50 employees for all businesses, and then up to 15 for contractors, our niche and where we perform best is going to be that 1 to 15 employees, that small to micro commercial insurance. That's where you're going to see, the best pricing, the best policy fit. You can, quote bigger risks with us, but you're likely not going to see us be as competitive with some other markets, because we're just not built for those types of risks as we stand today. So getting back to the small and micro commercial business, we will write home-based businesses. We will write brand new in business. We'll write newer in business. Coterie is still operates like a startup, so we want to make sure that we have some insurance options for other startup businesses that are coming into the market. Okay, so I will go over here next to talk about our products. So on the BOP and GL side, for the BOP on property limits, we'll write up to $1 million in TIV, only if it's owner occupied. We don't write lesser's risk policies, so that's something that's not an appetite for us, just to keep in mind. We'll do BPP up to 500,000, and then we offer business income on an actual loss sustained basis for up to 12 months. The little asterisk here is that in 49 of the 50 states, we offer a business income on the actual loss sustained basis. And then, to the surprise of probably no one, Florida is a state that we only offer $10,000 for business income. So that's a flat limit. It can't be increased. Florida's a tough market, so that's a little asterisk there. For liability limits, we will do up to 2 million per occurrence, and then up to 4 million in the aggregate. The one item I want to mention here, though, is that if you are writing in a state where we allow you to write liquor liability, the liquor liability limits are not available unless you choose 1 million per occurrence and 2 million in the aggregate or less. It's just something to keep in mind. You can still do 2-4, but you just can't get liquor liability with those limits. We will offer damage to premises rented to you up to $1 million, and then medical payments, we'll cap those out at $5,000. We do have some endorsement packages, silver, gold, and platinum. Once you do, and that's only available on our BOP quotes because they're property-focused coverages. So once you get in the system and you do a quote, we lay them out very nicely for you on the quote document, so you can do a side-by-side comparison to see how that silver, gold, and platinum compare to our base coverages. So I encourage you, get in QuotaBop, take a look at what those packages hold, so you can see what the best fit for your client is there. On the professional liability side, so we offer premium limits, which are um, tiered on an aggregate limit in industry. So a $25,000 policy is going to cost you $280. $1 million policy is going to cost you $500. On the PL side, our maximum revenue is $5 million across the board. And then our liability limits are a little bit different here, where it's $1 million per occurrence and then up to $3 million in the aggregate. So slightly different than the BOP and the GL, but that's what our coverage looks like on the PL side. So we do offer some additional endorsements to our policies now. Now, these are only available on our BOP and GL policies. This is not available on a standalone professional liability. So we have a cyber endorsement that we add to our policy. This is not a separate policy. It's added right into the policy. There's no separate underwriting questions. There's no separate anything that really needs to be done. You'll see it when you go through the platform. As you're quoting, it'll just be a box and you can select yes if you want it, select no if you don't, and then choose between the two limits, which are either 50,000 or 100,000. So this will give you a little overview here. This offers first and third party coverage. However, there are some states where cyber is not currently available. Those are listed here. We are working to try to get these in all 50 states. That being said, we do have the regulators in each state that are, the gatekeepers of these products. So it's not for lack of effort on our end. We just have to wait for the regulators and the departments of insurance in each of these states to give us the green light to go ahead and release that. I'm going to share this with Kylie after the presentation, but this has a clickable link where you can click on this and it'll take you to a little two-pager to give you a little more information about our cyber coverage and what that entails. Additionally, we have workplace violence. This is another endorsement. Again, not a separate policy. It's an endorsement add-on. So check a box, pick your limit, and then you can move on. This is going to show you the 10 coverages that are included in the workplace violence coverage. And then this will give you a little example of what you can expect to pay from a premium perspective, depending on the aggregate limit chosen and then depending on the sector that's chosen. So $100,000 aggregate for healthcare is going to cost you $250. And again, down here, this is going to show you the states where it's not currently available. Again, we are working to get this in all 50, but that being said, we just have to wait until the states give us the green light. Okay. So the other item I want to highlight here is a program that we have called Manage My Risk. So this is a self-guided and self-directed loss control program that we have available as an option on all of our policies. In general, with the exception of minimum premium policies, the total policy cost is going to be cheaper if you opt in to the Manage My Risk program versus if you do not. The reason for that is because we provide a premium discount on if you opt in, though we do charge a fee for participation in the program. That being said, this is entirely self-guided and self-directed. If the insured chooses to never do anything with the program, that's their choice. So they can use it as much or as little as they want to, as they would like. But we do encourage them to utilize the tools that we've provided because as we're all in insurance, less claims lead to lower rates and just better outcomes for all of us. So we encourage them to use this program and get the most that they can out of it because small and micro commercial business typically is a very underserved market for risk assessments, for loss control, for anything like that. So let's encourage them to use the tools that we're helping to provide them. So we do have a new partnership with Smarter Risk, which by enrolling in the program, insurers can complete a risk assessment in minutes, which gives them tailored, customized feedback on how to make their businesses safer. Okay, so this is always the hottest topic. What does Coterie write? What do you write well? What are your hit lists? What are things that you really excel in? So this is going to give you like a relatively high level overview. But the big five for us really are going to be restaurants, artisan and trade contractors, retail stores, personal services, and professional services. So one thing I do want to mention about the artisan and trade contractors is with every other class that we write, you can write that in any of the 50 states. So you can write a restaurant in Maine, you can write a restaurant in Texas, you can write a restaurant in Washington State. That's across the board. The little asterisk here is that artisan and trade contractors cannot be written in the state of New York. So everything else, all 50 states, artisan and trade contractors, only 49 states. That's thanks to Action Over in the state of New York. So we will likely not be writing that class of business there anytime soon. But these are the five, those are the five verticals where we really excel. So if you want to think of Coterie as a market for anything, that's where we write a lot of business. That's where we write a lot of business competitively. And those are the big five for us. And I'm going to a little, once we get to the end of this presentation, I'll take you to our website and give you a little more in-depth resources for our appetite so you can really dive in, and I can help you, maybe do a little self-service on answering more of your questions about our appetite. Okay, and like I said, this is just ready, set, bind. This shows you exactly what you need to get a quote with us, which is just the business name and address, and you're off to the races. The last page I want to share here is some resources. So there's your dashboard, agent and broker resources site. I will take you to this just to help point you around in case you haven't had the opportunity to visit that site yet. We do have an agent help center, which is awesome. I refer links to people to this all the time. And then we have a great support team that's available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern, by phone, by email, or by chat. So that wraps up the presentation. Let me make sure I can, give me a second here. I'm going to share my, okay. Okay, here we go. So on the Coterie website, I know we're kind of potentially bumping up on time here, and I want to leave some space for questions in case there are any. If you go to coterieinsurance.com and click on the Agents and Brokers tab and go to Coverage and Appetite Resources, no login required. You can look up here for our featured class of business for the month of June. We give you some free marketing materials that you can download. This is going to show you here what our featured classes are for the month. Anything that's new. We have our full digital appetite guide here, so you can just view now. And with a simple keyword entry, you can learn more about each class that we write. So let's say plumber. Okay. Click on plumbers, and it's going to show you that yes, we do offer a GL policy and a BOP policy for this. But if I click into one of these tiles, it's going to give me even more information. So it's going to tell you the highlights, willing to write newer startup business, 100% digital underwriting, and it's going to give you some very high level underwriting guidelines as well. So work under 3 stories, work less than 6 feet underground, no renovations from the ground up on or new home construction. So lots of great resources here for you to check out. So if you haven't had a chance to go to this portion of our website, I really encourage you to get in, take a look around, and see what you can learn about our appetite.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Christine, so much for sharing today. Was there
Yeah, of
anything
course.
else on your end? I apologize. I didn't know if there was anything
No,
else that you had. Okay, awesome. Well, guys, I want to thank you all again for jumping on here as well. I don't see any questions in the chat box, but if something does come up, feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm going to turn my camera
perfect.
back on so you all can see. I'm going to quickly walk you guys through our agent portal just to show you where Coterie is. So I'm going to take back presenter control and share my screen with you all. Perfect. So you'll go to infounderwriting.com, go to our agent portal, and once you log in, you will see the Coterie is over here on the right side. You cannot miss it. And be sure to complete this login registration in order for you to get your credentials. Once you get your credentials, you'll be able to jump back into the portal and log in immediately. That's all I have on my end. So again, Christine, thank you so much for all of your insights and your time today. It's greatly appreciated. And I just want to thank everyone else for jumping on today. Look forward to seeing you next week.